Hi, this is Catherine Morgan from Point A to Point B Transitions, and today I'm talking with Carol Roth. We're going to have some fun with this one, Carol. Now, I know we've written a bunch of times about how to moderate a panel, how to pick a panel, how to make sure your panel isn't a train wreck and is interesting for the listener. We've written about that a bunch of times. I'll link to it. But what we haven't really talked about is panel member no-nos. And you've been on a lot of panels, so I'll bet you have some good old stories to share.
Oh, I have some major horror stories for this one. Okay, where do we even start? So I think, obviously, if you have a pro moderator or pro person who's organizing the panel, hopefully they're going to send you some sense of questions or at least the tone of the panel going in. Right. So please prepare. If they send you questions, read the questions and come up with some damn answers. And when I say answers, you don't write yourself a paragraph. You write yourself a couple of bullet points of things you'd like to hit. And what this does is it puts in your mind the general things you want to talk about. You're the expert, so you obviously know the subject matter. You don't need to read a paragraph, but it'll allow you to recall that and then improv in the moment. So if they send you that information, do it. If they don't send you the information, then find out what the topic is and still have your bullet point list available. And I don't care how many times you have been on panels before, you owe it. If you're going to show up there, it's your reputation, it's your connection. Do the damn work or don't be on the panel. I had one panelist who was Mr. Panel. I've been on all the panels. I know everything. He missed our group call. And so I offered to have a one-on-one call. And it was, yeah, I know. And I said, fine, I'm going to send you the panel questions. And then we get to the panel and, he's kind of struggling answering a bunch of questions. So I threw out the softball question. And the softball question was sort of, what do you want to leave everybody in the room with? So literally you could say anything you want. This was not a difficult question and you should have been prepared. So you should have all kinds of things. And he looks at me and he goes, oh shit. And in the moment, I took a beat and I said, well, would you like to expand on that? And the entire audience burst out laughing. And again, that's why you have a pro moderator, because literally the panel was about to be derailed, could have said anything and said, oh shit, in the middle of a panel sponsored by one of the biggest tech companies in the world. So you got to be prepared. That's the very first thing. The second thing is, you have to find the balance between being thorough and being greedy. So people, if you're going to answer something, people want to hear from you. Having a nice anecdote or story helps people to remember things a little bit better. But you have to remember, it's not your story time. You're not the only person on there, and there are probably multiple questions to get to. So you need to sort of practice if you haven't done it before, and just put in your mind that, okay, I'm going to answer this, but I'm going to let other people have the chance to answer this as well, because some people will just go on and on and on. And if you're not really sure if you're rambling, look for some verbal cues. If the moderator is going, okay, and trying to get you to wrap it up, take the hint and wrap it up, because the worst thing on the panel, other than someone saying, oh shit, in the middle of it, is somebody who's there to just hog the panel. Let the moderator flow and provide the respect. My very last thing is that if you are on a future panel, or you are a speaker after the panel and you are in the audience and you think you know something, too bad for you, shut your mouth. It is not an opportunity for you to come to the stage and go, me, can I interrupt your panel and show you how smart I am? Which also happened to me at another major event, at which point I said, you are up next, so we'll look forward to hearing your insight there. Thank you so much. But do not hijack the stage from the audience or come out of the wings. You will have your turn. If you want to address something before you get started, say, I just want to go back to the thing in the panel because it was so interesting, but it's not your turn, so shut up. So basically, together, I'm going to boil this down, be prepared and don't be an asshole. And if you do those two things, you should be a great panel.
Okay, so basically you shouldn't type out your entire story, life
No.
story, client thing, and you shouldn't read it.
And you should never do that because you're going to forget. This is where people get so caught up because you're going to forget you're going to forget you're not an actor, you're going to forget the prose and you're going to call for a line or you're going to freeze. So you know the subject matter, you know the bullet, say the bullet. And if you forget one of your 25 bullets, nobody knows. You're there to deliver some value, not to write a book.
Okay, so don't read. Don't write a whole story about this.
No.
Don't hog the microphone.
No.
And don't hijack the stage.
Yeah, and be prepared and be a professional.
And be prepared. Show up on time. Show up prepared.
Yeah, and also I had one other thing for the ladies. Know what kind of chair you're going to sit in.
Oh, that's a bad one.
And if you have any doubt that they may pull up a stool or a high chair, wear a long dress or pants. You will thank me later.
Yeah, I wish I'd kind of thought of that. That exactly happened to me. I was wearing a very marginally appropriate length skirt.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
For standing there, and then they pull up those high chairs. First of all, I'm 5'2", so I can't like climb up on the chair. I look like I'm in a-hole, so I can't like get up on the chair. And then I'm like sitting there with it was terrible.
Not fun. But guys, you're lucky. You don't have to worry about this. Ladies, you absolutely need to worry about this. It's not pleasant, so don't be caught off guard.
I'm going to put a pin in that. That's important. All right. Thank you, Carol.